This is the Huawei Ascend P2 we have seen on the Mobile World Congress in February. Now it's a final device, and let's have a closer look to it, especially to the design, because I like very much those curved edges over here and on the sides. Unfortunately, the back is just plain plastic. It's a little bit rough. I hope you can hear that. So hand has a good grip, but it's not that soft feeling you have on some devices, but nevertheless it's lying great in the palm, resting great there. 67 millimeters by 136 millimeters. And by the way, it's 125 grams, so a little bit more than the 110 grams of the P1 that was a little bit more tiny, but has had 8 millimeters to 10.3 millimeters, and this one has 8.4 millimeters on the edges and 9.1 millimeters here in the middle. By the way, this one is a camera with 13 megapixels shooting videos in Full HD. This did the P1 also, but that has shot photos with 8 megapixels only. And the other thing that has changed is you now need a micro SD card for this one here. And on the P1 you had that mini, that was the normal regular big ones, and this is a little bit tiny ones, not the tiniest one, the nano from the iPhone, but the, let's say nowadays regular one, the micro SIM. Unfortunately, as you can see, you can remove the back, so the battery is fixed inside, but it has 2420 milliampere hours, and that's compared to the size of the screen. We come to that later. That's 4.67 inches, and that's a good factor, because you have 14% above the average concerning the relation of battery size and display size, and displays uses the most battery power. So the other thing is you have this is a camera button. On the other side you only have the volume switch, but you don't have any slot for a micro SIM card. That means the internal memory, you can expand the internal memory, and that's 16 gigabyte only, leaving 11.3 gigabyte left out of the box. So that's the important fact, 11.3 gigabyte, and you can expand that. So you have to think carefully if this is enough for all your apps and photos and videos and music and contacts and messages and whatever you want to store into your phone. 11.3 gigabyte. That's the big thing on the P2. I don't know if it's enough. Remember the HTC One that has 32 gigabyte internal memory, and everybody said, oh, that's not enough for all my stuff. And this one here is almost less, 11 gigabyte. That's not enough, I guess, for some people. So please be careful by deciding if you want to buy this product or not. By the way, we have another processor compared to the P1. Now we have a high silicon, that's a Huawei facility, with 4 cores, 1.5 gigahertz. And on the first P1 we have had a Texas Instruments processor with 2 cores, 1.5 gigahertz, and the RAM is 1 gigabyte again. That's, let's say standard, but not the high class. The high class devices nowadays have 2 gigabyte. So I'm looking forward to the benchmark, seeing how this processor will do. This will be great to see. And now let's come to the most important thing, to the display. And this one is now IPS plus, or let me go first, double tap or long tap. Okay, here we go to the gallery. Long tap to the task manager. I wanted to show you a photo and go a little bit closer so that you can see. Here we go. Okay, the most important thing, display, it's IPS plus, and the former one has had IPS regularly. That means it's just one value less, or one element on the called display elements less, so one level less, so that the pixels are a little bit closer onto the screen, so they shall be less reflections, but nevertheless, let me go like this one over here in the light, so you can see the most problem is nevertheless reflections of that surface. So that's a problem. So let's not talk about IPS or IPS plus. I wanted to go to this one. The display has a size of 58 by 103 millimeters, making a 4.67 inches diagonal. And remember, the first P1 has had 4.3 inches, so that's 18% more display like on the P1, and 11% above the average. And now here we go. It's 720 pixels by 1280, and the first P1 has had 550 by 960. So you have way more pixel density, way more sharpness. It was 257 ppi on the first P1, and this is 315 ppi on this one. So we have 51% more pixel density than on the P1. And so you have a really sharp image. But nevertheless, let's compare this to this one. And this is the HTC One, as you might have acknowledged again. No, here we go. No, double tap. No, here we go. This one that I wanted to show. And again, landscape mode, here we go. That's a picture I wanted to show you. And let me go a little bit zoom out like this one that you can compare. Okay, that's the most pixel density you can find on the market up to date. And here we have that direct comparison. And as you might, by the way, this video is shot in Full HD, so please watch in Full HD if you have the possibility. And then I hope you will see in the videos those, small differences on the surface like this one here. You have a little bit more details on the HTC One, but that's not a big deal. Especially the edges and the details on that stone here. It's really great, and especially it's in totally other price level of the Huawei Ascend P2 than on the HTC One, as you might know. So for sure, this is a great image quality, especially compared to the price that's at the moment. We have here in Europe 400, or at least in Germany, 400 euro without any contract, and I guess that will go a little bit down soon. So this is a great price, I guess, price level concerned to the size of the display and especially of the sharpness of the display. But nevertheless, the problem is, as I told you, the for my opinion, a little bit too small memory of 11 gigabyte net. At last, I wanted to show you the surface that's called Emotion UI, because that's the biggest disadvantage, difference, let's call it like that, difference concerned to former devices, because as you can see here, we have that home and back and options button, okay, but you don't see any icon or button for the app launcher or for the menu. So you have only those home screens for all your apps and all your icons, and you have now those folders on the home screens, and that's the like it comes out of the box. I didn't change anything. That's the way you will see your P1 if you pack it out of the box, and this is the way it looks like. So you have all here, you can all figure it out, and you can change, of course, everything you want to by drag and drop, and especially you can have those icons, those screens expanded up to 9 home screens, like this screen isn't mine. Here we go. So this is the maximum. You have 9 screens over here, and you can delete them, of course, or if you want to, you can drag and drop them around to change the the way, and especially you can have changed which screen shall be the home, or the primary home screen. That I mean this one that's showing up if you tap on the home button, and if you want to change that again, you make it like that, and home again. So here we go. That's the things you can change here. So you have all you want to on the home screens, but you don't have any app launcher, and that's a big difference. And I don't know how many people want to change that way or will like that way. I guess it's a thing you should try out if it's your thing, because I really can follow that awareness that you say, okay, you don't need all your icons twice, all right, but it's you have to change the way you use your phone, and yeah, that takes some days. Nevertheless, on the first view, it seems to be a very interesting device. We'll see how it's doing in the final tests, but unless you want to buy this one, think again of that memory, 11.3 gigabyte net memory, if this one is enough. So that's the first impression of the Huawei Ascend P2. Thanks for watching, take care, and hope to see you back soon.